Hey, good afternoon, and welcome to the Health Hour. This is Mike Sasser. I'm your host for the next hour. I'd like to say that it's an hour of health news that you can use. And we're right here today live on Lone Star Internet Radio. You can find us at www.irlonestar.com. And we're broadcasting right here out of downtown Conroe. It's a beautiful day out there, sunshiny. Feels like summertime. I understand there might be a little cooler weather on the way, but really a great day. Glad you're tuning in, and tell you a little bit about what we got on the show today. First off, I'd like to tell you how to get in touch with us. If you'd like to join the show, you're always welcome to Facebook me or Twitter, or tweet me, as they say, and you can find all of that at my webpage, which is www.mikesasser.com. I have a page there that says Contact Mike. If you click on that, you find all my links to the social media sites and everything, and you can always call in to the radio station at 936-647-3776 and get in touch with us there and be a part of the show. Today, we have, coming up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the sodium that is found in all of our foods nowadays. There's just, there's so much of it in there that you just you would not believe. And learned all of this by doing some research on a book that I wrote about a year ago, and that book is Simple, Inexpensive, Painless Weight Loss. But I did a lot of research on nutrition and read a lot of nutrition labels and things, and it is amazing the amount of sodium that is in our foods and stuff. And I'm going to tell you how to go to the websites and check out the nutrition values for some of the restaurants out there, especially the big chain restaurants and stuff. Most of them have their nutritional values posted on their web pages and stuff like that. So be talking about that, and then we're going to take a look at the Montgomery County Restaurant Reports, and these are the health inspections around Montgomery County, and see what those fine folks found. So you might want to stay tuned and find out if your restaurant is on that list or not, if it's been naughty or nice, so to speak. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about tips on portion control. And yeah, that is part of the I guess in my weight loss journey and losing weight and keeping it off. That is probably the most difficult challenge that I have is portion control. I tell you, if my plate is full, I feel like I just have to eat the whole thing. So I'm going to share some tips with you there. That's also found in my book. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about weekly grocery store ads. And this week I pulled some ads from Fiesta right here in Conroe. So we'll see what they have on sale and maybe find some healthy choices in there. By the way, if you'd like to advertise on the show or be a sponsor, you can always get in touch with me at my website there, www.mikesasser.com. I'd love to have you as a sponsor. We can do some live on air shout outs, if you will. So got several different options for you. And so let's I tell you what, let's jump into to sodium. And what gets me is a lot of times you think that you have a health food that's that's good for you, and you end up with a lot of sodium in it. And I'm going to give you an example. Let's just talk about soup, a can of soup. Just so you know, almost anything that's canned is usually going to contain quite a bit of sodium unless it has on there that no sodium was added to it. And the reason is it is a preservative. That's what sodium is used for, is to preserve the food and keep it fresh. So the can of soup that I'm going to talk about here is actually chicken noodle soup. And it's kind of hard to believe that we're still in March and not even officially spring yet. But so soup is still kind of around. It's that comfort food, so to speak, on those cool nights and stuff. And basically, when you look at chicken noodle soup, you're gonna see the sodium is usually in a range of about 400 to 600 milligrams of sodium, and just so you know, the recommended daily allowance of sodium is around 2,300 milligrams. And according to the CDC, they say that we are eating anywhere from 3 to 4 times the amount of sodium that our bodies actually need on a daily basis. And this is this is leading to a lot of the health issues I believe we have, as far as high blood pressure, heart disease, and many other things there. So getting back to my can of soup, okay. So just keep that number in mind. 2,300 milligrams, per day is all that you need. We look on this can of soup. You read the label. I recommend reading the label on everything that you eat, that you consume, just so you know what you're getting into nutrition wise. There's some labels that have words on them that I can't even pronounce, and I don't really get too much into all of that kind of stuff, but I definitely pay attention to the serving size and the amount of servings per container, the sodium, the sugar, and then sometimes I look at the calories and stuff. But those are the main things right there that I look at. So this can of soup, let's say that it has usually about 490 milligrams of sodium. Now, here comes the nutrition math, and I talk about this in my book quite a bit, but it's a whole chapter in there. And basically, what you do is that you spin that can of soup around, you read that label, and guess what? One can of soup has about 2 servings. Okay, and anytime you open a can of soup, you're going to eat pretty much the whole can of soup. So what you have to do is you have to multiply that amount of sodium. Let me just round it up to 500 milligrams, just so it's easy math here. So 2 servings times 500 milligrams. That one can of soup has 1,000 milligrams of sodium in it. So that one can of soup, that one meal, you are halfway to the amount of sodium that you need for the day. So that's, a lot of people just don't realize that. So now you have a couple of snacks in there. You have you throw in at least 2 more meals, breakfast, lunch, whatever, and you can see how the sodium just adds up. I'm going to go to some websites here and get my laptop started up here, and basically I looked up some nutrition values on some other foods that we really enjoy eating, and for instance, pizza. And pizza is another one of those. Pizza industry is a huge industry, and so you can go online. And I just pulled up Pizza Hut here, and I'm not picking on them or anything like that. Like I said, all the other chains, they you can just type in their the name and nutrition values, if you will, or Pizza Hut nutrition, and usually this type of page is going to pop up. And so you can go, scroll down through here, and they have all their different types of pizzas and everything. But I used to, this is true story, I used to order like a medium, pepperoni and mushroom and Canadian bacon and all that kind of stuff. And this was before I read labels and stuff, and I would just about eat that whole pizza. It was easy for me to do that, and so then when I started doing all this research in nutrition and stuff, I began to look this up, and I like the medium, actually thin and crispy crust that they have, and so it's right here on their website. You look up 1 to 2 toppings of a medium pizza, and by the way, 1 serving equals 1 slice. And according to this, they have 8 slices, so that's 1/8 of a pizza, okay? And the sodium in that 1 slice is 400 milligrams. Now, think about it. If you eat that whole medium pizza, or let's say you eat half of it, okay, 4 times 4, that's 1,600 milligrams of sodium. So, again, you are almost at a day's amount of sodium that you need just from a half a pizza. If you eat the whole thing, okay, now you have gone over your daily allowance of sodium. Again, keep in mind 2,300 milligrams is all that you really need. So you see how quick it can add up. I mean, and these are foods that we we love. We just love to eat them. And one other one that is my favorite, and I know that a lot of these are consumed. And yep, it's the buffalo wings. And I just looked up. Actually, this is off of calorie-count.com, and you can find about just any nutrition value on anything out there, including produce and stuff. Produce doesn't come with nutrition labels, so to speak, but you can always go to the internet and you can find, just type in, say, apple nutrition values, and Google is the coolest thing in the world. It'll pop right up, and you can find out. But anyway, getting back to the buffalo wings. Okay, serving size is 3 wings. Okay, so we're talking about 3 wings here. The amount of sodium in 3 wings, get this, 1,230 milligrams. So if you have 6 buffalo wings, and you are at your daily allowance of sodium. So it's just amazing how this adds up and everything. So please, if you do nothing else, whether you're on a diet or you're not on a diet, you're trying to lose weight, read the nutrition labels. Pay attention to the amount of sodium that's in there. Do what I call the nutrition math. And like I said, I explain all of this in my book, The Simple, Inexpensive, Painless Weight Loss, and it's in simple terms. It's out there, Amazon and all, and matter of fact, here in Conroe, it's at Hastings Bookstore. It's also at the Book Exchange there in Willis, but you can also find them on my website. But it's just, like I said, if you do nothing else, read the nutrition labels, look out for the sodium, look out for the sugar, and do that nutrition math. And you'll find that just those little bitty changes right there will make a difference in the way you feel, make a difference in the way you again, if you're trying to lose weight, that's a great start right there. And just get in touch with the nutrition and know what you're putting in your body. So with that, I think we're coming up on the break here. So we're going to come back and take a look at the restaurant reports. So come on back.
Tune in every Sunday night right here on Lone Star Internet Radio for adventure, romance, thrills, chills, and everything vintage radio drama can bring. The Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour comes to you every Sunday at 7 p.m. with brand new episodes monthly. Our productions always feature actors, music, and sound effects performed completely live. And now you can enjoy seeing each new episode performed on stage at the Owen Theater in Conroe. Check out www.irlonestar.com for information about upcoming episodes. Relive the glory days of vintage radio drama right here with the Players Theater Company Old Time Radio Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio.
Our community's animal shelters cannot absorb accidental litters of kittens and puppies. Approximately 80% of the animals entering our shelters will not make it out alive. Please help be a part of the solution. Please spay and neuter your pets. Many low-cost options are available. Visit texaslittercontrol.org to learn more. That's texaslittercontrol.org. And remember, real Texans don't litter. Please spay and neuter your pets.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. We are proud to sponsor 10 philanthropic programs that enhance the lives of those in our community. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Hello, Montgomery County. I'm Rachel Baldwin with Special Olympics Texas, Area 6. Are you a fan of courage? Are you a fan of determination? Are you a fan of acceptance, grace, and skill? Then you're already a fan of Special Olympics. Make it official. Volunteer, coach, and or compete and be a fan of dignity and acceptance. The dedication of our Special Olympic Texas volunteers provides mainstreaming experiences for athletes with intellectual disabilities. You will touch the heart of another person, and it will move you in a meaningful way that lifts the spirit. Please visit the Heart of East Texas Area 6 webpage at www.sotx.org. Also, like us on Facebook to be a fan and be part of Special Olympics Texas.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour. This is Mike Sasser, your host, and I tell you, we're right in the middle of a good show here. Talked a little bit about sodium and the amount of salt that's in all of our foods that we eat and everything. And by the way, if you just tuning in, you missed that or any of the, we're on every Wednesday at 1 p.m. It's a live show coming at you right here from right here in downtown Conroe. And if you happen to miss a show, you can always go to www.irlongstar.com and catch the podcast of the past shows and listen to them anytime. I mean, you can listen to them at midnight and in your pajamas, which is really cool. So we're gonna jump right into the restaurant reports, and this is Montgomery County Restaurant Reports that the health inspectors go out and they look at the restaurants out there and inspect them, and this is for the good of the public health and just keeping everything on the up and up out there. And what I like to do is I like to always start with a positive. So this is a pat on the back for some restaurants here that's in the local area that they had inspections and with clean bill of health. There was no issues or anything like that. And one of them is Dickey's Barbecue Pit on Kirkendall there in the Woodlands. They were inspected with no issues whatsoever, and good job there. Martin's Grill. I believe that is that's a really good steak house and everything. But they were inspected on February 29th, and no issues, no problems whatsoever. Good job there. Sweet Tomatoes there in the Woodlands. That is also that's a cool place. I mean, that's it's like a giant salad bar. You can just it's I don't know how many choices you have, but it just seems like it's endless, and pretty neat place. And they aced their inspection report, so good job there. And Vea Emalea Italian restaurant on Kirkendall. I hope I kind of got that halfway right, but Italian food there, and again aced their report. So good job there. And then moving on to Lenny's Sub Shop, and that is on Research Forest over there, and they were inspected, looks like March 3rd, and also had a clean report, no issues, nothing found, and good job on that as well. Moving on, I don't know. I seem to have steak on my mind today. I don't know why, but Perry's Grill and Steakhouse, they're also in the Woodlands. They were inspected on March 3rd, and they had no issues. I mean, no demerits or any problems whatsoever. So, like I said, that's a good job by those guys, and gals out there working in those restaurants, doing the right thing. And by the way, if you are in a restaurant and you have any any questions, or you would like to see their latest health inspection, these are supposed to be made available to you, and I have actually seen in some restaurants where they will hang them on the wall, and they're there for for the public, for their customers to view them and things like that. So if you don't see them, you have any questions, you can certainly request to look at it, and then they should be able to provide that for you. So now. What we're going to do next, I think I'm going to hold you in suspense here for just a moment. We'll take a little break, but we'll come back and we'll see some restaurants that maybe didn't do so good. Maybe had a few things that they needed to improve on, and wonder if your favorite restaurant is on that list. Come on back and find out.
Tune in to Chamber Chat with your hosts, Courtney Galley and Samantha Good, with the Conroe, Lake Conroe Chamber of Commerce, every first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. I'm one of your hosts, Courtney Galley. Samantha and I will chat about the Conroe Chamber's upcoming events and programs for the month. Relax with a cup of joe or your favorite drink for Chamber Chat.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser. This is a weekly show, by the way, every Wednesday at 1 p.m. We're coming at you from Lone Star Internet Radio, and I'd like to invite you to be part of the show. You can do that several ways. You can call in at 936-647-3776 and get on the air and give us some feedback, some comments, ask some questions if you like. You can always go to my website, which is www.mikesasser.com, and I have a contact Mike page on there, and if you click on it, you can get in touch with me by Facebook. You can email me directly, or you can also tweet me on Twitter. I think that's what they say. Yeah, tweet me on Twitter. So several ways to get in touch and be part of the show, and give us some of your feedback. Let us know how you're doing. And by the way, if you'd like to be a sponsor of the show, we certainly would be happy to talk to you about that as well. So right now we're in the middle of the restaurant reports, and again, what this is the weekly restaurant reports that the inspectors do here in Montgomery County to keep the restaurants in check, if you will, and keep us all healthy out there. So let me get into this list. And by the way, again, this is while the inspector was out there, and just some things that he found. And I'm sure these restaurants, they you think about it, the amount of food and product that goes through there, and the people and everything. It's a pretty big job, but to keep everything and have everything in tip top shape. But again, it's for the overall good of everybody's health out there. So without further ado, I will get into the restaurants, and the way they mark these is they call them demerits, if you will, and it's kind of a scoring system. So it's, if you hear, like for instance, I'll just, Chick-fil-A, they're on Lake Woodlands Drive in the Woodlands, 4 demerits. That doesn't mean that they actually found, 4, things wrong or, 4 problems. Again, it's just kind of a scale or a grading system that the inspectors use. But while they were out there, they found that insufficient water supply, one of the faucets were leaking, and like I said, that's just something that they can, I'm sure, address pretty quickly there. Chili's Bar and Grill on FM 1488 there in Magnolia. They were cited with 8 demerits, and basically 5 demerits for improper cold hold temperature and dressings at 45 degrees. Think about that. Certain foods, they have to be kept certain degrees. Certainly, keep refrigeration and that type of stuff. And so there's just a lot there, And then also 3 demerits for insufficient hand washing facilities. The hand sink was lacking paper towels. So something that they can take care of there. The Do-Si-Do on FM 1488 in the Woodlands, they had 6 demerits, and 3 of those were insufficient hand washing facilities. Again, the hand sink was lacking soap and paper towels. And then 3 demerits for evidence of insect contamination. A live roach was observed near the sink in the prep area. So now that, that is something I would definitely want them to take care of. That's just kind of I'm sure that's definitely an ongoing thing in the restaurant business. But another one that was inspected, and this is a genuine tasting room, and that is also on FM 1488 Magnolia. They were cited with 3 demerits, and failure to have a certified food manager on duty. That's something that I did not know, but I would think just kind of a manager would be there and managing employees and things like that. But they actually had to have a certified food manager on duty every shift, and the certification must be on site. Again, that was something that I did not know, and that's something that they can obviously be written up for. So getting a little closer to home here, Poppy's Seafood Grill, that's in Willis, Texas there on West Montgomery, or some people even say 1097. It'd be the east side of 1097. They were, they were inspected on March 8th, and let's see, looks like, 22 demerits, but that doesn't mean 22 items they were cited for 22 deals. But basically they have some notes on here. It says observed an employee cutting tomatoes without gloves on. Need to wear gloves. And it says droppings found inside cabinet behind wait staff station. Again, so any evidence of pests or insects or things like that, they're definitely going to catch that. They're definitely going to bring some attention to that, and which they should. They definitely need to do that. And then one other on here is they observed an employee putting gloves on and not washing their hands. And I know you probably noticed this too, but when you go into the restrooms in the restaurants, employees, there's a sign there, and it always says employees must wash their hands before going out. Just that's very important. So good hygiene, and again, not knocking these restaurants. I'm sure they stay on top of this type of stuff and really work hard to have a good meal and a healthy meal and just keep on the up and up with the health inspectors here. So we do this every week, by the way. Talk about I get these reports in, and so we talk about the restaurants out there. And again, if you'd like to call in or email and maybe ask a question, I could go back into some of the reports. If we didn't cover it on the radio station, I might have a report that's on file. So, like I said, get involved with the show, and we'd love to hear from you. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we are going to get into portion control tips and how to not eat so much. So come on back to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio here at OurLoneStar.com. It is 1:30. You're listening to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser. Right now we're going to do the weather and traffic for the Montgomery County area. Let's start with traffic. I'm looking at I-45 northbound. I do not see any accidents, but I do see an incident right there after 1488, and typically that means there's a police officer pulling somebody over, or there's a car being serviced on. Southbound on I-45, you're good to go all the way from Willis through Rayford, Sawdust area. East to west on all of our great highways, 1488, 242, 105, you're good to go, especially 1314, Conroe Porter Road, all the way to 59, you're good to go too. That's it for the traffic report. Stick around here on Lone Star Internet Radio, and here's some Health Hour stuff. That's right, with Mike Sasser. Stick around after these messages.
Doing business since 1985, Assistance League of Montgomery County is a nonprofit, all-volunteer organization where all proceeds stay in Montgomery County. Through our Operation School Bell program, we have provided new clothes to over 50,000 students in our county. Visit our thrift shop at 126 North San Jacinto Street in downtown Conroe, or call us at 936-760-1151. Don't forget to like us on Facebook.
Are you interested in learning more about preparing quick, healthy, and safe meals for your family? Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with practicing and tasting nutritious food? If so, the On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
Did you know there are more than 790 abused and neglected children currently in foster care in Montgomery County? Will you help make a difference? I'm Allie Stevens with Casa Child Advocates of Montgomery County. We train and support volunteers to be the voice of children in the foster care system. Kids are removed from their home because of abuse and neglect, and we need volunteers just like you to advocate for these children. To learn more about becoming an advocate, please visit CasaSpeaksForKids.com. That's CasaSpeaksForKids.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser. I am Mike Sasser, your host, and this is a weekly show. We here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. We are on the internet, and we are actually going to be going FM here soon, within the next month or so. That's super exciting. You'll be able to, cruise around in your vehicle and listen to us and catch us, and all the good shows here on Lone Star Internet Radio. So that is very cool. But I tell you what, we are in the middle of the Health Hour, and again, if you'd like to be a part of the show, get in contact with me. You can go to www.mikesasser.com and have a contact page there. It's got my Facebook link. It has my Twitter link, and it also has a email that you can email me any questions or comments that you may have, and let us know what you think about the show. We like to say that it's a hour of health news you can use. And getting into the next topic here, I want to talk about something that is really near and dear to me. And again, this is to do with my weight loss. And I guess this this is kind of how this all came about, how this radio show came about and everything. But I had struggled with my weight all of my life, and like many people out there, I have done fad diets, even prescribed diet pills, over-the-counter diet pills. Probably went through 4 or 5 gym memberships, throughout my lifetime, and just never could keep the weight off. And that's the key, is keeping the weight off. I would lose the weight, and but then when the pills ran out, or when I got tired of watching the DVDs, or quit going to the gym, well, guess what? I would fall right back into the old habits, and the weight would come back on. And so I really got serious about it and started researching, and kind of used myself as a guinea pig, so to speak, but through just natural, simple, and inexpensive ways, I lost weight over a year and a half ago, and actually lost 29.4 pounds, and that was over a 60-day period where I kept a food journal, or I call it a food and activity tracker, and I wrote a book about that. So I put all of this stuff in my book, and the name of the book is titled Simple, Inexpensive, and Painless Weight Loss. And you can find it on Amazon, or you can find it on my webpage. You go to my webpage, matter of fact, and I have all the Amazon links, and Books A Million, and Barnes & Noble. A lot of information on my website. So please go check that out and everything. But what I guess is still to this day my biggest challenge is portion control. Now, what I'm talking about is, literally the amount of food that you eat in a sitting. You sit down and whether it be breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever the amount of food is on the plate, I want to eat it all. And this goes back, and I'm certainly not going to throw my mom under the bus or anything like that. But my mom used to have this saying. She would say, well, Michael, eat your clean your plate, and you'll have a happy plate. And to this day, that still sticks in my mind, that if I have something on my plate, I have to make my plate happy by eating it all. And so that is actually a chapter in my book titled Happy Plate, and it talks about portion control. And whether you are losing weight, or just if you're maintaining weight loss, which that's kind of the phase I'm in now, and really that is that's a lifelong thing. That's not a 60-day plan or 30-day plan or anything. Like I said, when you lose the weight, then the challenge really begins is keeping it off, and portion control plays a big part of that. So here are some things that I have found that help me. Again, I did quite a bit of research on this stuff on the internet. Google, I think, is probably like my best friend in the world. You can literally type in Google, portion control tips, or just portion control, and find a lot of great articles on it, as well as websites. I would say stick with the websites that like WebMD, or even CDC. Even some there's quite a bit of information on the USDA website with the nutrition values, or a food guide that was just recently published. But there's just so much information out there. But here's a few tips that I put in my book, and I would like to share with you. And the first thing, and I know it seems obvious, but basically is reduce the amount of food that you cook. I came from Louisiana. I don't mind saying that. I'm transplant here in Texas. Been here for quite a while now, and like it a lot. But growing up in Louisiana, we just, my mom, my family, we cooked big meals. We had, if we had gumbo, it was a big pot of gumbo, and if we barbecued enough, seemed like for a week. And so there was, we were very fortunate, very blessed, but we always had a lot of food around, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But if you reduce the amount of food that you cook, and again, that sounds so simple, but it goes back to reading nutrition labels. and if you stick with the serving sizes on the nutrition labels, because there's almost, well, I'll put it this way: there's a lot of things out there that you look at the package and you think, well, that's just one serving, but a lot of times it may be, you might be a half a pack and stuff. And I really use this a lot on frozen vegetables and stuff. Because again, if it has 2 servings or 3 servings of vegetables, then I will half the pack or third the pack, and you really don't even need a measuring cup or anything like that. So just reduce the amount of food. The portion control as far as like your protein, your meats, and things like that. You can go out and get you one of these fancy kitchen scales and measure the ounces, and you want to stay within 3 to 4 ounces or so, a portion of protein. Or you can just use this simple little rule of thumb, if you will. But the size of your palm is about the size of the serving of protein that you can have per meal, and so. Just a little tip there, and also check this out. This is pretty genius, if you will. But use smaller plates. I mean, we had literally platters when I grew up, and again, if you fill that thing up, it's like well, you got to have a happy plate. Well, so that means you got to eat everything, and so portion control was just a big struggle for me. It really was, and to this day still is, especially when I go into restaurants. I was in a Mexican restaurant, I guess a couple nights ago, and just the portions in these restaurants nowadays, and it seems like Mexican food in particular, they're huge. They're huge, and if you clean the plate, man, you're eating a lot of you're consuming a lot of food. So the other thing is slow down when you eat, and this made sense to me because I was busy. Seemed like I was always in a hurry, and I ate fast. I did, and as I began to research and read these articles and things like that, I found that hey, if you eat slowly, and one trick is that have a bite or two and sit your silverware down. Just take a pause, and what happens is it gives your stomach time to send that signal to your brain that says, hey, I'm full, I've had enough, stop. And here's one that helps me out, especially when I go out to eat, and this is, just used this the other night. Matter of fact, that the Mexican restaurant that I went to, basically is when they bring out my plate, I ask for a to-go box right then, and I'll half it. And so now I've taken off, half of that food of my plate, so I can still, have a happy plate. I can still clean my plate, but I'm not just, eating this big pile of food. And guess what else just happened? I have stretched my food dollars. Instead of buying that one meal, I've made 2 meals out of one. So I've stretched the food dollars, and I've never had a problem with eating leftovers. I mean, that's like I said, you can just mix a few little extra things in there and kind of turn it into a new meal. And the other thing about the restaurants when you're eating out is, and I do this quite often, is I order off of the appetizer menu. Many times they're smaller portions. And you can kind of get, you might get 2 or 3 different things, especially if you have somebody there with you and stuff. And so you get a little variety, but yet you're still having smaller portions. So those are just some things that you can find in my book. They're very simple. They're easy to do, and like I said, stretch your food dollar. So I'd like to say they're kind of inexpensive as well. Dick here is telling me that we're about ready to go out for another break, and so let's do that. Pay a few bills, and then come on back. Thanks a lot.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
I'm Lieutenant Bob Berry with the Conroe Police Department, reminding you that drinking and driving do not mix. Drinking and driving causes an alcohol-related fatality every hour in the United States. Stay sober and stay alive.
Hey, this is Cindy Cochran, and now Conroe can boast of another first. The first morning live talk show, 10 to 11 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on Lone Star Internet Radio, coming straight out of the fabulous downtown Conroe, Texas. Be the coolest guy at the water cooler, or the most informed break room dweller by listening to the fun side of the news, local, national, infinity, and beyond. The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
The Conroe YMCA's benchmark adaptive programming for kids and adults is Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith is an equine-assisted therapy program serving children and adults with adaptive needs. The riders in our Leap of Faith program are working to address and manage specific aspects of their lives impacted by illness, injury, or disability. The Leap of Faith program has experience working with riders who are living with attention deficit or other hyperactivity disorders, hearing impairments, visual impairments, developmental delays or disabilities, autism, Down syndrome, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, head traumas, brain injuries, and paralysis. Our program uses horseback riding to develop self-confidence and self-esteem, to increase upper and lower body strength, assist in respiratory issues, and establish a trusting relationship between the rider and their horse. Not only do these activities aid in the physical and mental development of the rider, but they also foster self-reliance and independence. For more information regarding our program, to become a rider, or to volunteer with a great group of people, please call our Welcome Center at 936-441-9622 or visit our website at www.ymcahouston.org/Conroe.
Hey, welcome back. You're listening to the Health Hour with Mike Sasser on Lone Star Internet Radio. You can find the radio station at www.irlongstar.com. You can get in touch with me if you'd like to be a part of the show. Send me some comments or questions, and do that by looking up my website, www.mikesasser.com. You'll find my Contact Mike page there with my Facebook and email and Twitter links, and I'd love to hear from you. So tell me what you think about the show. And by the way, if you missed the show, this is a live show every Wednesday. And if you do miss it, though, the podcast are located there on the irlongstar.com website, and you can catch the past shows anytime you like. You know, that's the cool thing about the internet. It's always open. It's always on. So just check us out there. What I like to do, and by the way, I like to do this every week. So, but I like to find different grocery stores, and I call this the weekly grocery ads. And if you didn't know this already, most grocery stores, their weekly ads come out on Wednesdays. Wednesday morning, they put out their ads. You can find a lot of these on the website or on their website online. And but I was here in Conroe this afternoon prior to coming to the show, and I did not even know this, but there's a Fiesta food store right here in practically downtown Conroe. And so I popped in there and walked the aisles, read a few nutrition labels, and I picked up one of their sales papers that had just come out today. So I like to look at these things and find maybe some healthy choices, maybe to share with you, and talk about some of the ads. And something that jumped out at me here, they have a nice produce section, and locally grown Texas Rio Star grapefruit. These are some pretty large grapefruit, and they had these things for $1. That really jumped out at me because I tell you what, by the way, if you're just tuning in, I wrote a weight loss book called A Simple, Inexpensive, and Painless Weight Loss. I did it. You can do it, and it's literally my personal weight loss story. I don't like to refer to it as a diet book because it's really more of a story that it gives you guidance and certainly has tips and suggestions and things like that in there. But it's not so much a one of these restrictive, you can't eat bread type diet books and stuff like that. But getting back to what I was talking about, these grapefruit on sale like this, it's a good time to stock up on those things because they're in season, they're fresh, and grapefruit is an excellent. It's on the superfood group, if you will, as far as burning calories and nutrition values. I will tell you, and you can look this up on the internet. But grapefruit is a little high in sugar. Now, it's natural sugar. So I'll tell you the difference real quick between natural sugar and processed sugars is your fruits that have natural sugar in them, as long as you keep them and you eat them as nature intended, as a fruit, they have the fibers and the other things to help your body break down that sugar and use it. Processed sugar is just sugar. That sugar, once your body has enough of that sugar, all it knows to do is to store it at that point. So, like I said, you can go on the internet, check out grapefruit, just Google grapefruit nutrition, and you'll see the nutrition values there. Avocados, that is another superfood group, and they have those on sale as well. Big, large avocados. They're $1 each, but man, they're like. I tell you, like I said, I walked through there before coming to the radio station, and these things are like softballs. I mean, they're huge. Cantaloupe 2 for $1. Sorry, I'm 2 for $4. 2 for $1. That'd be pretty good. But again, these are seasonal fruits, seasonal items that are with springtime. These things are fresh and they'll be good. Also. We have broccoli, Brussels sprouts. You might say, "Oh man, good," but I had never really tried Brussels sprouts until just recently, like a couple of months ago. In the frozen food section, you can find them, and they actually come in these steamable bags, so they're very convenient. This particular store, I believe it was Kroger's, but they had them like one of these sales. 10 for $10, so basically $1 a bag. So they're inexpensive, and I steam those things and just put like a little bit of maybe crushed red pepper on them. Again, I'm Louisiana, I like spicy stuff, and it makes a really good side to any kind, whatever else you're eating there, and very healthy for you. But when you're looking at fresh produce or vegetables, especially, I tend to buy more flash frozen vegetables nowadays because you're getting all the nutrients, all the good stuff, but you don't have to worry so much about it, spoiling and going bad in your refrigerator. I tell you, I used to throw out a lot of produce and stuff because I traveled quite a bit, and I'd buy it and had all good intentions of eating it, but next thing you know, it would not be wouldn't be fresh. I'd have to throw it out. So I was wasting food dollars, wasting food, and as I began again to do this research for my book, I found that there's a lot of stuff out there that's frozen. I'm not talking about these frozen, dinners, frozen, entrees and things like that. But I'm talking about your frozen vegetables, and you can even get fruits and berries and peaches and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things out there that are flash frozen, and as well as and looking through the ad here again is tilapia. They have tilapia on sale. And if you're looking at meats and things and they're frozen or they're prepackaged, again, you want to read your nutrition label and just see, because sometimes you're going to find that the meats and stuff, they're going to have a pretty high content of sodium, because again, they are it's a preservative, so they're preserving it. And when you're looking at lunch meats and things like that, we talked about the high amounts of sodium in the first part of the show, and your lunch meats have a lot of sodium and everything like that too. So be aware of that type of stuff, and I tell you, you'll do your body good. So this is again, this is the Health Hour. We're here about 1 p.m. and this every Wednesday. Catch our podcast, and you guys have a good day. Come back next week, and we'll have a brand new show for you with some new tips on weight loss and just overall good health and well-being. So I appreciate you listening, and get in touch with us at www.mikesasser.com, and catch you next time.